This is Inside Troy Athletics, a look at what's going on and what's coming up for Troy University's Trojans. Now, here's your host for Inside Troy Athletics, Jonathan Sellers.
Hello and welcome to Inside Troy Athletics. I'm Jonathan Sellers alongside Jeremy McLean, the Director of Athletics for Troy University. And Jeremy, another football game for the Trojans in Idaho, and another win for the Trojans, starting the season off 4-1. I know a lot of people maybe had high expectations this year, but I don't think anybody could have thought the season would have started quite like this in such great fashion. I know there's a lot of excitement going on over there, and what did you think about the victory?
Well, it was great. First of all, it's a difficult trip, so I think you're always worried about traveling across the country and then getting ready to play a football game. But our guys responded great. Our staff, our coaching staff had them ready to play, and I thought we just executed very well and had some adversity. The first couple of minutes of that game, first half of the first quarter, really handled that well, and our defense stepped up, which they have been all year. So just a great win for us, and again, kind of one of those you circle on the calendar, on the schedule, and worry about because of some of the logistics. But glad to be able to bring that victory home and get ready for the next one.
And I know the next one is not this weekend. They finally get a week off, and I know that's kind of a sigh of relief for everybody over there. They've been a little beat up just after the Clemson game, Southern Miss, and then some tough conference games. So finally a week off, and that's got to be good for everybody.
It really is. And sometimes you don't really get to control where your bye week falls. Some of it depends on the conference schedule and how the non-conference schedule works out. But this year it really worked out well for us. We got 5 games under our belt. We played some tough ones, as you said, some really physical games on the road. Just kind of wear and tear on our guys. So perfect time really to have a bye game and then obviously to get ready and gives you a little extra time to plan, not only for Georgia State at homecoming, but then a quick turnaround the following Thursday against South Alabama. So those, really good from the standpoint of having a few extra days to plan for both of those games during the bye week.
Yeah, I want to get to both of those, but first the Georgia State game. Not only is it the next game, but it's also homecoming, also always a big celebration, welcoming a lot of people back. What events do we already know on that are going to happen that week?
Yeah, we'll have a full slate of events. First of all, that's at 2:30 p.m. kick time, and then we'll obviously have what is a normal homecoming activities with the parade downtown. We've got a breakfast for our Alumni of the Year, which I think our folks involved in athletics will be really excited about who that is, and we'll make people come out and find out who it is. But so all that kind of usually happens around homecoming. It's it's a full slate of activities for the whole weekend. It's a lot of fun, and then 2:30 p.m. gives us time for people to have activities afterwards as well. And so excited about that weekend. I think the weather looks like it's going to be great. We've got a good opponent in here in Georgia State. They've been really good defensively and will be a challenge for us. But really need a good home crowd to help our guys out.
Well, and I know after this 4-1 start, it's the best since Troy has joined the FBS. What is the perception from the fans been like? Have you seen more tickets being bought? Have you seen people looking ahead and getting tickets down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the best signs we saw after the Southern Miss game, we had people calling on Monday asking about tickets for games in November, which is a great sign. People are thinking positively. They want to get ahead of the game a little bit. And so, I expect October 15th homecoming to be a really good crowd. Not only is it, like I said, homecoming, you always kind of have that built-in homecoming crowd, but the way we're playing, the excitement in the community, I expect it to be a really, really good crowd, as good as we've had in quite some time. And then if we can continue to win, I think the sky's kind of the limit as far as the excitement's concerned for the rest of the year.
Right, and want to go ahead and mention this and get it out there because it's a Thursday night game, and that's the South Alabama game. It's rivalry week. Last year it was a big thing. We started the Battle of the Belt.
Right.
I'm guessing that's going to continue this year. But it's not, as you said, it's a short turnaround from that homecoming game right into that game. Are there any events planned for that one? I know we've heard some talk of buses taking students down there. Can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, so I think and a little bit of a challenge for us logistically too, because you don't want to overlook homecoming obviously, but you want to get ahead of the game for that Thursday night game. And so the main thing we're focused on right now is kind of mobilizing our students. We have worked with SGA to arrange for some buses to take our student body down there. We're planning. I think we've got 3 already reserved. They're filling up. We'll take 4 or 5 or 6 if we need to. And so we're excited about that, and we've had a really good response. And you'll see some marketing and some information come out for our students to do that. And then obviously we'll be through alumni, as we always do, be arranging for a bus from here And then we have some of our alumni group down in the Panhandle too. We're putting buses together to get to the game. So should be a great opportunity to have a fun time, with a road trip. And we're going to make sure that we give our students and our folks here in the community every opportunity to get down there.
Now, I know Alumni Affairs is actually already holding some events down in Mobile to have people get their gear for the game and get ready. So, again, don't want to overlook homecoming, but that is also a big game down in South Alabama. But lots going on otherwise. Soccer team, again, playing well, but just not getting the results they want. I know Coach said stats-wise everything is working out, but they're just not getting the W. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I think I know that's frustrating from a coaching player perspective. They're right there in every game and every match. And so, for me, just as watching them play and seeing the talent level that we have, we're a young roster. We've got a lot of freshmen starting. I think it comes down to that. I think sometimes when in those close games, when you don't have leaders who've been there for a long time or a lot of upperclassmen who've been through it, I think sometimes that's difficult to pull out some of those victories. And I think that's what we're seeing. They're playing well. They put themselves in position to win. It's just a matter of getting it done in crunch time, and they'll grow into that. So excited about what they're doing. I really am. I think Coach Hamilton's doing an excellent job. We got a talented roster, and the future's bright for them. We just got to keep pushing through what has been a tough stretch, just in the wins and loss category anyway.
And I think you can kind of say the same thing about the volleyball team. Again, a young roster. Mm-hmm. They've got talent. It's just a matter of getting those results. They've lost 9 in a row. Same thing happened last year, but they overcame that, won 8 in a row, and fought their way back into the Sun Belt tournament. And kind of doing the same thing right now. They've lost 9 in a row, facing Tennessee tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then they're going to get back into Sun Belt action this weekend. What are your thoughts on the volleyball team?
Yeah, I think it's, like you said, similar thing. We've got a young roster there, and so it's just a matter of taking those steps during the season sometimes. And we were able to accomplish that last year, so we're hoping that we're able to repeat some of that this year, and maybe some of these out-of-conference, these non-conference games will allow us to kind of get our legs back under us and move forward for what is the home stretch of conference play, if you will.
And speaking of volleyball, something I wanted to talk about and bring up is ESPN3 and how Troy has developed a new relationship and agreement with ESPN3, and it's really started off with volleyball, and that's going to kick off tomorrow night against Tennessee, and then kind of go throughout the rest of the season and into basketball and so forth.
Yeah, we reached an agreement. We reached out to ESPN3. Of course, they do all of our football games right now through the conference, and we were really interested in gaining some additional exposure for other sports. And so we talked to the academic side here on campus, our School of Journalism and broadcast and broadcast classes, and tried to figure out a way to partner with them and provide an opportunity for our students to gain experience and an opportunity to put our games out there where they could be viewed by millions of people.
Right.
And so right now we've got volleyball. We'll do about 9 contests in volleyball from beginning this week to the end of the year. And then we're going to have 20-plus games on the basketball side. All of our conference matchups, home contests, I should say, and then many of our non-conference matchups. And then we'll also have a spring segment. We're still working on some of the details for that, but plan on getting baseball in the mix and being able to broadcast those games too.
But as you said, it's a great opportunity not just for the sports, but the students to get that live action feel of how to run those productions. So just a great opportunity all around. Other sports that are in action and kind of started were tennis and golf. And I know tennis started off with a pretty good start.
Absolutely, and we're really ramping up, and a lot of our sports are either competing or beginning practice in the fall, if you will. And so tennis has come out playing well to begin with and got off to a great start this past weekend, finished strong. We got women's golf competing right now, as a matter of fact, and competing as we speak in a tournament in Missouri and playing really well. I think sitting in 3rd or 4th place right now with a chance to finish strong, and then we got basketball practice starting this week, and baseball practice, softball practice. So really, kind of everybody really competing right now. Our cross country teams have had about three events under their belt and have done very well. So busy time, a lot of good things happening across the board. Excited about what's going on.
And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. We didn't bring this up beforehand, but it's Major League Playoffs are starting right now, and there's actually a couple of former Trojans that are going to be taking part in that. Clint Robinson with the Nationals and TJ Rivera, who's had just kind of a Cinderella story with the New York Mets. Are you keeping up with them, and have you got to talk to Coach Smart about that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely keeping a close eye on the playoffs and those guys, and our staff's excited, obviously. I think anytime you get an opportunity to say we've got guys playing in the big leagues, contributing at a high level, not only are we proud of them, but it's just a feather in the cap for the program. I think from a recruiting standpoint, just being able to tout that as, if you come to Troy, you've got an opportunity to pursue every dream you've ever had. And that's a great message for us to be able to share.
Well, and good luck to both of them. Hopefully they'll both get to go far, though I am a Cubs fan. So, no, it's a great story, and TJ Rivera has been fun to watch in everything he's done. So not a lot going on at home this weekend. There is softball in action
Correct.
at home, but other than that, all the teams are going to be on the road, so you can keep track of them. We do have volleyball Wednesday night. But everything else is on the road, and then homecoming next week. So lots of activities, and we'll recap those next week again to kind of keep everybody informed.
Yeah, very good. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And welcome back to Inside Troy Athletics, and I'm here with Rawia El-Sisi of the women's tennis team. And Rawia, y'all got the fall started a week or so ago at Georgia Southern, and can you kind of take us through that tournament and how it went for you?
We did pretty well, the team. I didn't take the full team.
Okay.
We just took a few players. And the way that the fall tournaments work, they're individual tournaments. They're not team or dual matches like we do in the spring.
Okay.
So we use the fall to prepare, each individual, and they prepare the whole team for the competition in the spring, of course. So we have this fall about five tournaments, and each player will play 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I took three girls. They did pretty well. The good thing about this week, they got a lot of matches. They were guaranteed to play 4 singles and 4 doubles.
Okay.
Usually that's pretty much a lot of tennis, which is good. So girls did well. One of the girls went to the semifinals, and she became 3rd in her draw. There was 2 flights. And she got, in her singles record that week was 3-1, so it was good. The doubles teams, they did well. They only had 1 double team, and they also went 3-1 this weekend.
Okay.
Another player, she went as well 3-1 as well in singles. So another one had tough matches, final sets, which is good. She played higher in her kind of in the draw, so she did 2-1 too. So it's good.
Now, next tournament, you're going to be heading to Baylor this week in Waco, Texas. And what do you know about that tournament? Who's going to be in the field, and what kind of team are you taking for that one?
Well, the good thing about Baylor is going to be good preparation for the teams we face in the Sun Belt, because we want to win, so we have Baylor is going to be there, Wisconsin, Mississippi State, and you got Georgia State are bringing few of the girls, I think 4 or 6 players. ULM is bringing few players, so I'll bring 6 players to this tournament. So it'd be a lot of good tennis.
Okay. And what kind of, are they going to be on outdoor courts, specialty courts? Do you know what it's going to look like there?
We play outdoors. Okay. The only time we'll play indoors, the weather is beautiful there. It's like being in the 80s, it's sunny and good weather for tennis. The only time we'll play indoors, and Baylor big schools have indoors if it rains.
Okay.
And they have to get the matches going, so we'll move indoors.
Okay. Now, what about the makeup of your team this year? Is there a lot of newcomers, or do you have a lot of players returning from last year?
There's a lot of players returning from last year because, again, the team was young.
Right.
Last year we had a lot of freshmen, so they're coming with more experience, and it's exciting to always see them competing.
Now, is there anybody to look out for that maybe has looked really good so far this fall, or that maybe you think is going to step up?
We haven't. It was just our first tournament this fall, so the way that works is the girls over the summer don't play a lot of competition because we don't have any competition. So we will have to go through a few tournaments first so they get the feeling of the matches, because it's the last time they competed will be in April, end of April. So, but it's all about every week they do better. They learn from their things that they do in their matches, and we take the mistakes and we move it on for the next match. But they're looking good. They're looking good.
All right,
every
Coach.
week.
Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck as you head to Texas this week, and good luck the rest of the fall.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And now on Inside Troy Athletics, we're going to talk about the men's tennis program with the head coach of that program, and that's Coach Scott Kidd. And Coach, welcome. We got the fall started off this week, and so I know you're ready to get things rolling. So welcome here to our show. So y'all were in Houston, Texas over the weekend playing at Rice. Good start to your fall with some of your players playing really well. Can you talk about that tournament for us?
Yeah, it was probably one of the best start of the years that I've had in a long time. The guys have been working hard, training hard. We have 3 seniors, Pablo Moreno, Hassan, and Andre coming back this year to lead the team as captains, and they all 3 did well out there. Hassan, in his debut year, did really well, made all-conference, All-American, and then was in that car accident last year, so it kind of took him back. But he played so phenomenal out there, it's like his old self. So I'm really excited because we need someone like that caliber to play at the top. Losing Daniel Bustamante and Giovanni Samaha from this year, but I was extremely pleased with Andre Bottle. He's a kid that's always had so much potential, but really showcased it this fall. I'm hoping he's going to build on the confidence from that. And again, we have some really interesting freshmen that we brought in. We brought in Yaqing Duan. He's from China. He was a top 10 junior and top 20 in the men's open. A very promising player, big ball striker. Also have Gabriel Nicolescu from Romania, who transferred from Chicago State. He's a sophomore, also did well, winning his last match against Rice. We have American, Shaz Parani from near Atlanta, Georgia. And we have a bunch of kids, Mustafa Belcour coming back this year, Austin Racine, Philip Manson, a really promising young team with lots of energy. We have some great results out there. First day we won all the doubles matches. Hassan and Joachim, who we call David, actually won the flight in doubles. Andre Bottle won in singles. So, I think as a start, I got to be very pleased with our results.
What was the competition like out there?
It was tough. You had of course, a conference team as UT Arlington was there. You had Rice, Army, a lot of the Texas team, USTA, San Antonio. So it debuted a lot of competition. It was a tough tournament to start out with. But it was really the weather was phenomenal out there. It was a great environment. The Rice hosted such a great event. So it was just a great environment to start out the year, and the guys, we had some great matches and some great wins out there. And
you'll be back in action this week as you head to Mercer, Macon, Georgia. Talk about that tournament for us.
Yeah, we'll be going to Mercer. Actually, Eric Hayes, the former coach here, he's the head coach there. He's hosting this to be the second year we went to it. So it's a pretty good tournament. Last year it had Georgia State's in our conference, had UNC Wimbledon there, had some really good teams. Georgia Southern was there, so I expect to see those teams back this year with a few more coming in. It was not an easy tournament last year, so I will be setting out a couple of our top players to rest, getting ready for the ITA regionals next week. So the bottom half will get a lot of exposure. So I've really added a lot of tournaments to the fall schedule. I felt it was needed in order to have us better prepared for the spring, because we always start out indoor with these big teams, ranked teams. So it's going to keep us busy through the first part of November. So I'm hoping that this new schedule is really going to pay off.
I remember last year your spring schedule started off with such a tough string of opponents. Are you just kind of preparing for that again?
That was, some coaches said we had the toughest schedule in the country last year. It was really tough. Hindsight's 40/40. With building that schedule, we didn't know all the accidents and all that was going to happen. But we started off really tough, and we come back and won like 10, 11 matches in a row. This year, I kind of backed off a little bit. It is tough. We open up at Florida State. It's a tournament, so they'll have a lot of good teams there. And then, of course, we go up to North Carolina. We'll play NC State, who's always a top 30 team. Elon and I think UNC Greensboro. And then, of course, play Miami. It's not an easy schedule, but it's a really good schedule for us to do a lot this year.
All right, Coach. Well, I know you're getting prepared right now and throughout the fall, so good luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. Welcome back to Inside Troy Athletics, and we're here with Matt Terry, the head of the men's golf program and the head of the golf program here at Troy. And Coach, first of all, I got to say your ring a little shiny here. I saw y'all get those at the football game last home game, and congratulations to you. That was a good ceremony, and congratulations to your team. But y'all have played 2 events to start off the year and played pretty well, played in Kiowa Island, South Carolina, and then again at Georgia State. Can you kind of go over those 2 tournaments for us?
We played decent in both. We made some mistakes. I think we were pressing a little bit, coming out of the summer, coming off a good spring. The guys are tending to press a little bit and try to push themselves, but we got done at the Grove, finishing 5th. You know, we tied Georgia, who's going to end up being a very good team this year. That kind of gave us a little sign of life. We were in 3rd after the first round. Didn't play very well the second round. I think we had 8 doubles and a triple. And then we go into the 3rd round, play pretty well, had the day low, I think, or right near there. And that showed something. We had the day low at Kiowa the last day. Yeah. And, you know, we gave the guys, because we had the ceremony going on, we had all of our alumni guys coming back and things. So we gave the guys a few days off, and they took those days off. And we're starting to see some of the good stuff back at practice, and the guys are playing pretty well right now. And it was a good time for a break, because you don't realize as a golf coach sometimes, unlike some sports, they play all summer, kind of like baseball.
Right.
You know, they're playing all summer, but baseball has the luxury when they come into the fall, where they don't start fall ball really. You know, they're throwing and stuff, but there's no practice, and we jump right into practice playing in tournaments. And the guys, I mean, you know, they might have been just a little bit burnt out. I'm not going to throw it all on that, but you know, I think that could be a little bit. So looking forward to seeing what we do in a couple weeks.
Yeah, get a little breather, and then you're kind of reverse what you did. You're going to go to Georgia State again,
right,
for a different tournament, and then back to Kiowa Island.
Right.
Well, what are those tournaments going to be like?
Yeah, Georgia State's good. Pretty good field. It's a golf course that's totally different than the first 2 events at Kiowa and then at Middle Tennessee. It's more of a quirky golf course, short, tight, old country club style. The guys really like it. It makes you play a little bit different. You have to think a little bit more around it. So we're trying to prep ourselves in that manner, and with our practice and what we're doing with qualifying to see who's going to the event. But looking forward to it. And then going back to Kiowa, to a course that just opened October 1. It got redone, Turtle Point. The girls play it the week before we do. Okay. So that'll be a good luxury for us to be able to sit down with the women's team and see what they thought of the golf course and everything. So hopefully that'll be an advantage for us. And
now I know right before we were going on air, you were checking your phone to check the women's results. Kind of update us how they've done so far this fall.
Yeah, they're in a situation. They played decent in the first event, really well the first round at Vanderbilt in one of the strongest fields in the country, and I think they ended up finishing 12th, which wasn't too bad considering the strength of the field. Beat a few teams they should beat, and it's helped them with their early ranking. And then today they're going to end up finishing T5. They were all the way up into 3rd at one point, and they had some late mistakes. But you know, it's good to see Fatima finish 2nd today, and she'll be very disappointed. She had a couple of doubles, I'm sure. You know, I know Coach Barnes is you know, seeing some bright lights. Lindsey Harrison had a hole-in-one today out of a young lady that's going to be a very good player for them. And you know, they're just kind of getting started. It's only their 2nd event, so you know, you're seeing a lot of good stuff out of them.
And again, both teams really kind of returning a lot of key parts. Fatty Cano returning Sunbelt Golfer of the Year.
Right.
You're returning your whole squad. So
right.
a lot to look forward to the rest of the fall and this spring from both teams.
Right. Both teams returned everybody. Yeah. I mean, and that's a luxury you don't see very often with both golf programs. And you know, hopefully that they'll kind of come together together. Right. They had a little Ryder Cup before the girls left, you know, with the Ryder Cup going on this past week, and that was fun to see, the girls and guys. And the guys had to win in the playoff, and I'll do that. They had to win in the playoff, or they would have probably been in trouble themselves. But it was a lot of fun watching that.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck to you and the women's program, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, join us again next week for more on Inside Troy Athletics.